Mwananchi, tabia zako ziko chini, unapenda kulipa hongo na kutumia njia za uongo, una mipango na hata watoto wa kando, haujui hata majina yao. Kura yako uliuza maini figo, ukakulia hadi dini, kisha wasema tukuthamini, na wewe hapo hauaminiki, na wewe hapo haupangiki.
Wapi kidero when you need to slap somebody? Complain ufisadi kwani ulidhani t-shirt 50 bob leso siku ya campaign ilikuwa free? Ni 5 year loan investment utalipa kingia parliament. We are one, amani we are one na utumishi kwa wote, utu missing CCTV we were watching. Racial insecurity na job opportunity ni kama mti ya kibiriti, side moja heavy. Usiniambie Kenya kuna umaskini, kwani hizi fat fingers zinaibia nane? Maskando inatuletea wa survival. Media define leadership, na sura ukiaka front page na improve readership. Ambia wase wa Twitter wa hashtag hii ama hash reality doesn't make a good TT. Commission of inquiry wanakula commission bila kutupa ukweli, ni kubaya. Baka kukiwa kuzuri unashindwa nini mbaya. Machozi ya perpetrator ineza dilute damu ya victim ilimwagika. After all is said and done, all will be said, nothing will be done. You're not my tribe, but you're my blood type. Like it doesn't have to take tragedy to know that.
Sheria
and a very good afternoon to you. This is Sheria Dive with me, WaNjeri, right here on Power Radio. Karibuni sana. Wow. Nimewamiss, man. How has your week been? This was a short week. Of course, Monday was a holiday, which meant that we only had a 4-day week. But also, I hear guys have suddenly seen the shift deductions on their paycheck, and people are going mad. I've just seen on Twitter, there are people who are going crazy. Hii Kenya kuna kupumua, ni kulamba glucose na kuendelea. Anyway, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court of Kenya turns 12 years old this year. And today, I want us to have a discussion about this court. We rarely get an opportunity to judge the court. It is always a court that is passing judgment. So, our agenda today is to judge the Supreme Court and ask the question, how has the Supreme Court contributed to our democracy? And has it been a good contribution, a bad contribution, underwhelming, overwhelming? You know, how would you rate the performance of the Supreme Court so far out of 10? Why don't you just let me know in the comment section of our YouTube live chat? And of course, now we are live on Instagram and on Facebook. So you can as well just go there and push your comment, let us know. But of course, as well, you can reach out to us on the socials at Power Radio, at James K. WaNjeri. And we're going to be looking at those comments just to highlight them and to amplify them. But of course, you know this show, every time we start this show on Saturday, we start by highlighting a featured artist of the show. Today's featured artist is Brandy Minor. Do you know Brandy Minor? Do you know when you go to Instagram, when you search Brandy, before you even finish, it brings you that one Brandy. You know the Brandy. But we have our own Brandy Minor, fantastic, fantastic musician with some beautiful songs. So you're going to be playing 5 of the best of Brandy. Hey, 5BB. Walla, walla. 5 of the best of Brandy. And I'm going to be needing you to vote for your favorite song out of this bunch. And remember, if you actually discover that you know none of these songs, or there's a song you actually do not know, you've not heard before, Why don't you let us know? And as always, remember, on this show and in this radio station, we only play Kenyan music 24/7 all the time. Sasa. So we always encourage you, please find these artists on the socials, support them, go for their shows. Flozy was here because the last time I was here, I was talking about Motoria had a show. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And Flozy is our in-house producer, amazing lady. So she took my word seriously. Akaenda concert manze ya Mr. Motoria, and she couldn't stop bragging about how she had a nice time. So look out for Brandy Minor, follow her, buy her merch, and attend her shows. So ladies and gentlemen, here is Brandy Minor's song number 1.
Power Radio. Lean in. Power up.
The operation nice and fitty. Roll one up, yeah. Things it can get tricky. Napenda kumedi na mziki. Kama ni mapenzi then baby ulinifanyia nini? Cause I really wanna get time to get to know ya. Like any time flies, Ntaku treat like I'm supposed to. If you just let me show ya, Ntakupa rest on my chest and my shoulders. I must have on my tele. I think him and I fell in love overnight there. Loving him since then. I must have on my tele. I think him and I fell in love overnight there. Loving him since then.
Without you by my side, I swear I'm not able to face this thing called life. I feel I'm not stable. So you are my lifeline, my only power cable. Oh, my amiable. Look at the stars, shining so bright to get your attention. But we're so in love, so magical. I'll never love again. Believe it's planning a future now. And when we make love, you taking all the pain away. Otina timranade, universal love me ani chango atundenate. Pokna yudo machalo kodi alemoni ani bende. Abide Lwanda ni Lwanda migeno. Okana go pain, okana podi. I must have fun my tele. I think she and I fell in love overnight. Wanted her since then. I must have fun my tele. I think she and I fell in love overnight. Wanted her since then. Without you by my side, I swear I'm not able to face this thing called life. I feel I'm not stable. So you are my lifeline, my only power cable. Oh, my amiable. Without you by my side, I swear I'm not able to face this thing called life. I feel I'm not stable. So you are my lifeline, my only power cable. Oh, my amiable.
Was so scared to fall in love again, but your touch is everything. Niseni, siseme, when you're my everything. Scared to fall in love again, cause your touch is everything. Niseni, siseme, when you're my everything. When you're my everything. When you're my everything. When you're my everything. Oh, was so scared to fall in love again, cause your touch is everything. Niseni, siseme, when you're my everything. Ah,
When You're My Everything. That is Brandy Minor together with Mr. Okello Max. And Okello Max, Banner, the guy is prolific. If you think of an artist, he's probably done a song with them. So anyway, that's My Everything. Brandy Minor and Okello Max. That's Brandy's first song, 1 out of 5. Let's get number 2 out of 5, Brandy Minor.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
You say you like all comba. Baby, turn around and pull up to me bumper. Your skin smooth like jojoba. Ati wanafanya nini? Wanaogopa. Dark skin na nachota. Melanin na lova. Nobody can boka. Well, they tried sometime back in November. They really didn't think I would remember. Sahi, my confidence in my rise. I never used to be like this before. I used to be so damn insecure. I took a dark skin in lana. Haters are working loud. Nothing ever sweet like coco. Get on the dance floor, make them loco. You say you like all comba. You turn around and pull up to me bumper. Your skin smooth like jojoba. Ati wanafanya nini? Wanaogopa. Dark skin na nachocha. Melanin na lova. Nobody can boka. You say you like all comba. You turn around and pull up to me bumper. Your skin smooth like jojoba. Ati wanafanya nini? Wanaogopa. Dark skin na nachocha. Melanin na lova. Nobody can boka. Yeah. You don't know how I like your confidence. The way you walk, how you talk, it's evident. Black is the beauty, so more for them. You were a star, brown skin, una kill. Oh, show them who you are. You were a star, brown skin, una kill. Oh, show them who you are. You like a loco. Like a loco, you like that toto, like that toto star. You like a loco, like a loco, you like that toto, like that toto star. You like a loco, like a loco, you like that toto. Like that toto star. You like a loco. Like a loco, you like that toto. Like that toto star.
Yeah. That song is called Dark Skin Girl by Brandy Minor. Are you a dark skin girl out there? We're celebrating you. You and your color. This is Africa. Let's get number 3 from Brandy Minor.
Music all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
song right there by Brandy Minor. Okumbe. Okumbe. You know, my favorite part about that song is you can actually, sometimes you can listen to a song and it's a nice song, but you can also listen to a song and you can tell there was a lot of intentionality with the musicality. I like how they've used the piano in this song, and the keys is just fantastically played, fantastically done. And of course, Brandy is sounding amazing as usual. Sawa sawa, we're going along nicely. Those are 3 songs so far. We have 2 more songs to go. Remember, our featured artist is Brandy Minor. You can find her music online, and you can check her out. And please make sure you support her, because here we support Kenyan talent and Kenyan artists. Let's get song number 4.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Nimekuwa tu poa, nimekuwa tu feel, usijali na vile ninaendelea, tangu nikukate sijakuwa tu soba, nimekuwa high, usijali, it's Brandy. We've never been good, we've never, you never deduce, you never. You do the things that you do, girl, tell me the truth. You never. Yeah, you've always been hefty, right from beginning when you met me. I saw your text with your bestie. You've always been hefty. Now that you're famous, you've been messy. I don't understand what you've been looking for in this girl. Got a big heart, I got booty, I got flaws. I got issues, I'm not perfect, and I know, but you also don't even know the capability of my soul. Tangu nikwache nimekuwa tu poa, nimekuwa tu feel, usijali tangu nikukate sijakuwa tu soba, nimekuwa high, usijali, it's Brandy.
Now you're gonna miss me, baby. I miss you, I miss you, baby.
I miss you too, you know.
Right when I'm over there, away from you, baby.
But a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Thank God I'm bleeding. Thank God you know. Thank God you know. Thank God I'm healing. Thank God I'm grieving. I'm grieving. Tangu nikwache nimekuwa so blessed, so stressed in between this mess. Everything was for the best, but I really miss your chest. I really miss to know that you were everything I ever felt. Yeah. Tangu nikwache nimekuwa tu poa, nimekuwa tu feel, usijali na vile ninaendelea. Tangu nikwache nimekuwa tu soba, nimekuwa not, nimekuwa tu,
I mean, if someone laughs like that, you better open that wallet, my nigga. That's Brandy Minor. And of course, now we get the song number 5. Today I'm going to break my own rules, and we're going to play 6 songs because there's one song we're looking for. I hope we find it. But for now, this is one... the next song is one of those big songs that Brandy had. And I remember this was also the time I was also getting to hear a lot more of her music. So please give this a listen and let me know what you think. Remember as well, we are trying to vote for the best song out of this lot. You can do that by just putting your comment on the chat section on YouTube or on Facebook Live, because we are now live on Facebook and also on Instagram. But also you can do it by reaching out to us on the socials at Power Radio, at James K. WaNjeri. Let's go.
Power Radio. Tune in. and power up.
Come on. Oh, admit it, oh, admit. Oh, admit it. Dunk, gunk, gunk. Kayo na chiki, eh? Let's get it. Yo. Nataka kukuona, karibu nikutext. Tutaonana lini, karibu ni confess. Nina mafilo, lakini I know. Kwako ni kalongo, longo, longolo. Kwangu ni kulove, mina love, love, love. Bado nakumiss, sitai forget ile kiss. The best timing was this, our loving was real. So siatina kudis, but it's better like this. Cause we've gotta admit it, admit it, admit it, admit, admit it, admit it, admit it, admit. Aki for real, you didn't care. Nilikuwa natoka thika hadi kwea kukupea unfair, yeah, 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 baby, yeah, 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 tell me, yeah, 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 ukweli, tell me, ukweli ni bado wanimiss, hujai forget ile kiss. The best timing was this, our loving was real. So siati una need this, but it's better like this. Cause we've gotta admit, oh admit it, oh admit it, oh admit it, admit it, oh admit it, oh admit it, admit it, admit it, oh admit it, oh admit it, oh admit it, admit it, oh admit it, oh admit it, admit it. Nataka kutumbereta, nataka kutumbereta, nataka kutumbereta, tumelete rumbereta. Nataka kutumbereta, nataka kutumbereta, nataka kutumbereta, tumelete rumbereta. Ra, 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 beretera, ra, 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 rumberetera. Taka kutumbereta, taka kutumbereta, taka kutumbereta, tumelete. Put your hands up in the air, put your hands up in the air. Yo kungzela, kungzela, hapa utapata vela. Kuja dinji, ya dinji, denja dinji. Oh yo kungzela, kungzela, hapa utapata vela. Kuja dinji, ya dinji, denja dinji. Oh yo kungzela, kungzela, hapa utapata vela. Kuja dinji, ya dinji, denja dinji. Oh yo kungzela, kungzela, kam hapa kuna vela. Kuja dinji, ya dinji, denja dinji. Akebo, karunu nikutesa kukomba, nikutesa na ama piano. Karunu kutesa kukomba, na karunu nikukonamba. Jeez, karunu nikukonamba. Karunu nikute nikupate ukilala kitandani. No hapa, ayaya, akebo. Ay, cha, 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 cha.
That's Kubali. And perhaps the question I'm going to ask ni, mnakubali ama mkubali? Has she got it or what? You know, there's something beautiful about being part of an artist's journey, especially at the beginning. Many people actually come to find out about you when maybe a few songs have popped, you're a bit famous. But you know, those guys, like the Sauti Sol fans, do you remember Mwanzo? You know, those are the real Sauti Sol fans. And I think we are still at that space of listening to Brandy, and Brandy is still in that era where you can still feel she's actually doing the music that she wants to do and the music that means a lot to her. And she's our featured artist. And because I like Brandy Minus so much, we're going to play another song before we kick off our discussion. Remember, today we're talking about the Supreme Court of Kenya. The Supreme Court of Kenya was set up in 2011, and they will essentially be 12 years this year since they were established. And the question we're asking is, what has the impact of the Supreme Court been on Kenya's democracy? And it has also not been a court that has lacked drama. There's been a lot of drama around the Supreme Court, and we're going to be covering some of those things, exactly what happened. Tuko pamoja. Let's get this next song, one of my favorites by Brandy Minor, and then we kick off that discussion.
Back with another ba bum ba bum bum. Back with another ba bum ba bum bum. Back with another one ba bum ba bum bum. Let's get it ba bum ba bum bum. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a lane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Joe, how do you think, Joe? What can you push about this girl I know, about this girl called Mary Jane, about the way she used to kill him with the show, kill him with the kill them pretty girl there. She got that shaku, got that katika. Every night and day, up before 20 p.m. Everybody say, gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like it, man. I really, 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 really like it. Yeah, man, I really like to dance, really like to move my body like that. Really like to dance, really like to move my body like that. Okay, najua unapendanga energy drink, lakini ukitaka mali safi ende chain. Kuna manzi ana everything you need. Gotta break your back, gotta break your back, gotta break your back until everything don't be leveling. Go so sweet, they be jealousy. Everything about you is so highly. I know you know they know you got nice energy. Akisonga every time, so exciting. Now what lie, you mesmerizing. Nice energy, Akisonga. That is why Mary Jane makes you feel some type of way. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary. To chasing a Brandon, Jerry. To chasing a Kendra, to chasing a Abby, to chasing a Erika. To chasing a Lynn, to chasing a Tracy, to chasing a Dodo. Now Warembo, Warembo, Warembo,
That song is called Mary Jane, and it's perfect that it ends with laughter, and that's all I'm going to say about it. If you don't get it, forget about it. That's Brandy Minor. Big up to you, Brandy, out there. If you know her, or you never know who's listening to this show. So if you're listening to the show as well, Big up to you, and we love your music. You're a fantastic artist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, where were you in 2007, 2008? You know, I had gone to visit my grandmother. My grandmother lives somewhere in Koma. So I remember 2007, over the Christmas period, I went to visit her. Those days, for the Gen Zs, we used to do elections in December. So the elections were done. My uncle and I sat there as the Electoral Commission of Kenya was counting the votes, and we could see the numbers on the TV. And there was a gentleman called Samuel Kivuitu who was there reading out the numbers. And by the time we were going to sleep, and we were going to sleep at about 1 or 2 a.m., Raila Odinga, I think, led with about 600,000 votes or something. And my uncle was a Kibaki supporter, and he looked at me and said, "Hey, hii imeenda manze." So anyway, we slept because it was clear that the count was not going to end until the next day. So I woke up before him, and I went, switched on the TV, and my goodness, would you believe it? Kibaki was now leading. I woke him up and I told him, "You are not going to believe what's happening." I don't know where Kibaki got the votes, but that's the day we discovered there's a place called the Rakanithi. And the Rakanithi came with the votes. And suddenly, Kibaki is ahead of Raila Odinga. And that began what we call the dark days of 2007, 2008. Because Raila and his guys said, "Iyo imeibiwa." There was a lot of drama at KICC. And those days, believe it or not, Ruto was a guy for Rao Mbaya Mbovu. So you know, sometimes you see how these politicians play these things out, and you'd just be surprised. Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, was on Kibaki's side, KANU having joined with the Party of National Unity, PNU. William Ruto and Raila Odinga were on the same side, and Martha Karua was a Kibaki supporter. Anyway, the Electoral Commission of Kenya, ECK, then announces the results, which have been disputed by Raila, and he announces Kibaki as the president. Now, after making that announcement, Kibaki is hurriedly sworn in that day at State House by Chief Justice Evans Gisheru. Usiku, 6 p.m., the TV is live. We are now live at State House where the president will be sworn in. And Kibaki was sworn in. And Akina Rao said, "Kama mbaya mbaya." And Kenya just went and spiraled into violence. There was violence happening everywhere, especially in the Rift Valley, where you had, in the Rift Valley, you have many communities living together or bordering each other. Now with counties, we can get an idea of why the Rift Valley was such a hotbed of violence in 2007, 2008. Now, because of that violence, of course, Kibaki and Raila come back together. We have Kofi Annan, he comes, he does the Serena talks, they sign a peace accord. Raila becomes a prime minister, all those things. But it was decided that we needed to call this guy called Kriegler. Kriegler was actually, I believe he was a judge. And Kriegler comes to Kenya, and the idea is, how do we prevent a repeat of 2007, 2008? And according to Kriegler, he says, the way I have listened to Kenyans and the way we've collected views, Kenyans have a lack of trust in the election infrastructure together with the judiciary. There is a problem with the judiciary. Kenyans cannot trust the judiciary to handle election matters. And so, one of the recommendations that the Kriegler Commission made was that we would now need to set up a court, a superior court, because remember at the time we only had a high court and a court of appeal. And they said, you're going to have to set up a superior court, which you're going to call the Supreme Court of Kenya. And that court will handle presidential petitions. It will determine who won the election. And a process of appointing those judges has to be a very thorough process, a very transparent process. Because if people feel that judges have been compromised, then what's going to happen is they will lose trust in the judiciary, and then, before you know it, we are back to the streets. So in the year 2011, we now have the act that sets up the Supreme Court of Kenya. an act of parliament was created, setting up the Supreme Court of Kenya, and so it started to operate. I've got a question for you. Who was the first Chief Justice in Kenya? And after the 2010 Constitution, who was the first Chief Justice? Because when I come back, we're going to be talking about the people who have served in that court, and maybe also deal with some of the drama that they've each dealt with or they've each handled. But for now, bless my room when I wake up early in the morning. This goes out to all my millennials. Remember the days of the beat? Imanzi, I'm going to TV unaenda kwa TV kwa jirani bana. Bless my room. This is Necessary Noise. Let's go.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Usiku wote umelala, mashida ukiwaza, chuki umekutaza, matendo ya wengine kwako nayo ya kukataza, kuishi vyema kwa raha. Funga macho, weongea na Mola, umweleze nini kitakutoa kwenye mtego uliokushika. Ni baba yako pia rafiki yako.
He's watching over you all day. Get on you to better pray, oh, you better pray and watch all your problems just fly away.
A long time now, get a youth you a suffer just to get you some lunch and some supper. Things them go bad, always wrong, never proper. Check it mtaani mpaka leo tuna suffer. In me ghetto there is no holiday. Man I lose direction and now them turn gay. Children have no toys and yes we want to play. Don't you worry, just kneel down and pray. Say come not to use, come not to use, come not to use and praying with me.
Bless my room when I wake up early in the morning. Say a prayer and I'll be okay. If you always get lazy, you better stop yawning. Ask for guidance, never go astray. Now that you got your Jaja protection, release all your tension. He's watching over you all day. Get on you to better pray, oh, you better pray and watch all your problems just fly away.
Never put a scissor upon your natty dreadlocks. Babylon, these are creating so much tension. Oh, get us through all this operation. So much tension, oppression in the nation. Still we go strong with the Jaja dedication. Get all you confused, oh, this drug abusing. Please Jaja help them, their mind them are losing. Now we are kneel, together we are praying.
Get your youth, when I chameleon digging for your deeper roots. When the complication, fire will reach you a suit. With an intervention from the one who gave the youth. That's an education. See no more suffering, no more struggling. I get your youth. See no more suffering, no more struggling. I get your youth, no suffering.
My room when I wake up early in the morning. Say a prayer and I'll be okay. If you always get lazy, you better stop yawning. Ask for guidance, never go astray. Now that you got your Jaja protection, release all your tension. He's watching over you all day. Get on you to better pray, oh, you better pray and watch all your problems just fly away. My room when I wake up early in the morning.
protection, release all your tension. He's watching over you all day. Get to better pray. You better pray. Watch out, your problems just fly away.
Bless my room when I wake up early in the morning. Yeah, I bless my room when I wake up early in the morning. Yeah,
Do you remember them? Do you remember them? That was a good time. Bless my room when I wake up early in the morning. I asked the question, who was the first Chief Justice that was appointed under the new constitution? I can see Mr. Elijah Mose saying, I'm loving the show. Tell Brandy and Mary Jane I love them both. What am I scared? It's a collab. Elijah Mose has a fantastic show right here, which is our local hip-hop show where we only listen to Kenyan hip-hop music. Fantastic gift of gab. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when the Supreme Court of Kenya was established, the first Chief Justice of that court was one Dr. Willie Mutunga, and he was made the president of that court. Willie Mutunga, of course, you'll remember, for those of you who are keen on Kenyan history, especially during Moi's times, he had been arrested by Moi's police because they had said that he was teaching university students the wrong things, so that you come and fight against the government. And so he had been detained by Moi and his government. And it was fantastic to see that someone who had been a victim of the state could actually rise to this fantastic position of being the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. Assisting him was the Deputy Chief Justice, one Nancy Makoha Baraza. Now, that name might sound familiar, but where is Nancy Baraza? What happened? So on 31st December, this was quite a case because it was alleged, right, that on 31st December of the year, I believe it was 2012, that Nancy Baraza was going into the village market. And while making her entrance to the village market, she came into contact with a guard known as Rebecca Kerubo. Okay? And Rebecca Kerubo, being a guard, then demanded, Madam, I need to see what's in your bag. You know, the way you have the bag checks at the entrance. And I think Nancy Baraza flipped. I was like, what are you talking about? And Gafla bin Vu, it is said that she pinched Kerubo's nose and produced as well a firearm. A firearm was produced in all that drama and in all that was happening at the time. And suddenly the question was put, can the Deputy Chief Justice of a country be allowed to get away with such conduct? All right? So anyway, a tribunal was set up to investigate the conduct of Nancy Baraza. And Nancy Baraza, the tribunal found that yes, Nancy Baraza should be removed from the judiciary because of her actions. And she had the opportunity, of course, to appeal to the Supreme Court, or to take the matter to the Supreme Court for the Supreme Court to determine whether she should be removed from the judiciary. Of course, she then wrote a letter after that and said, I do not believe that I will receive justice at the Supreme Court, and especially from my boss, one Mr. Dr. Willie Mutunga. And so she resigned from the Supreme Court. And this is what Dr. Mutunga had to say about the decision by the JSC. After lengthy deliberations, evaluations of witness testimonies, and other material evidence submitted, JSC has now resolved that pursuant to Article 1684 of the Constitution, it will send a petition to the president to suspend Justice Nancy Baraza and appoint a tribunal to investigate her conduct. That is what began that process for her removal. So she was the first judge, I believe, of that era to fall on the sword of the Constitution because of her conduct, the way she conducted herself against a Kenyan who was just doing her job. Many people said that was unacceptable. Of course, after that, we had Lady Justice Kalpana Hamsukrai Rawal, who then became the Deputy Chief Justice to replace Nancy Baraza. And she also had her drama because when Kalpana Rawal became a judge, those days the retirement age used to be 74. But under the new constitution, the retirement age was brought down to 70. So Kalpana Rawal got to 70 and she said, no, the contract I signed said 74. And there was a court battle about it. What is the retirement age of judges? And the court said, no, a judge retires at the age of 70. That is the law. That is the constitution. And so Kalpana Rawal also left the judiciary, of course, with a bit of drama about that story. Another one was Justice Philip Kiptoo Tunoi, who was a Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya. And Philip Tunoi was actually accused of taking a bribe in a case involving one Dr. Evans Kidero. Perhaps you can remember there was a story like that. And it created a huge furor. Did Justice Tunoi, as judge of the Supreme Court, actually receive a bribe? A lot of drama, but eventually he left by way of retirement. He was actually never taken through the trial process and found guilty. Another one was Professor Jackton Boma Ojwang. And Jackton Ojwang, a judge of the Supreme Court of Kenya, he also ended up retiring. You'll remember that he had a fiery interview when he was when it was time to replace Mutunga. He put in his name as one of the people who could step into that position. And he had a fiery exchange with one Justice Mohammed Wasame at the JSC interview. Of course, he never got the job, but he left. The next person who came was one Justice David Maraga. And we're going to be talking about Maraga shortly, because it was Maraga's bench that made a decision that had never ever been made in Africa. It was the first decision of its nature and one of the very few decisions like that to be made. And Justice Maraga, of course, ended up retiring in 2021. Now, who are the current judges of the Supreme Court of Kenya? We have Lady Justice Martha Koome. And Martha Koome is a former Court of Appeal judge, and she rose from the Court of Appeal to be the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, deputized by Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, who is a Deputy Chief Justice. Then we have Justice Mohammed Ibrahim. He's part of the original crew that came in. We have Justice Smokin Wanjala, also part of the original crew that came in. We also have Lady Justice Njoki Susanna Ndungu, who is part of the original group. We have Honorable Justice Isaac Lenaola, who joined the bench after, and also Justice William Ouko, who joined the bench afterwards. Now remember, when you think of Kenya's Supreme Court, you have to realize that their objectives are 6 under the law, okay? Number 1, they are there to assert the supremacy of the Constitution and the sovereignty of the people of Kenya. Number 2, they are there to provide authoritative and impartial interpretation of the Constitution. Number 3, they are there to develop rich jurisprudence that respects Kenya's history and traditions and facilitates its social, economic, and political growth. Number 4, they are to enable important constitutional and other legal matters, especially matters on transition to the new constitution, to be determined with due regard to the circumstances, the history and cultures of the people. Number 5 is that they're there to improve access to justice. And number 6, they're there to provide for the administration of the Supreme Court and related matters. Now, in terms of their jurisdiction is, number 1, if you look at Article 140 of the Constitution, they actually get to deal with disputes relating to the election to the office of president. All right? Number 2, it also sits as an appeal court, meaning that they can hear and determine appeals from the Court of Appeal. Number 3, and I think when I talk about appeals, it's important to note that appeals are not a matter of right, okay? Appeals only have to be a matter of right, and it has to be in a case that involves interpretation or application of the Constitution, or a matter certified by the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal as one that involves a matter of general public importance. Now, the other thing as well is that the Supreme Court has a jurisdiction to give advisory opinions at the request of the national government, any state organ, or any county government with respect to any matter concerning county governments. They also get to determine the validity of a declaration of a state of emergency, an extension of that declaration, or any legislation enacted in consequence of a declaration of a state of emergency. We're going to be looking now at some of the decisions that were made by that court, especially touching on presidential petitions, beginning with 2013 presidential election petition. This was the first time that the Supreme Court was being invited to determine whether Uhuru Kenyatta had actually won the election against one Mr. Raila Odinga. We're going to be discussing that and also some of the criticisms that the court received as a result of the decisions that they made. But of course, this is radio, so let's get some music.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Usiku wa joto, usiku wa manane, usiku usioishia, katikati ya Julai, tulikuwa na furaha, hatuku stress na uhai, tulijua tu city lights ya Nairobi, they shine so bright. Remember dancing in the moonlight up until the sunrise, strobe lights glaring oh so bright, katikati ya July, ya July, ya July, ya July. Skin to skin, follow the beat the whole night. Oh, we'd be disco queens, but that was way before our time. Our life is out, so we take it. So let's run naked, paint the city pink. We deserve to take it. Let's get our lick back, fight the system, we can break it. Chase our dreams until we make it. Dancing in the moonlight up until the sunrise, strobe lights glaring oh so bright, katikati ya July, ya July, ya July, This party don't stop. This party don't stop. This party don't stop. This party don't stop.
Here we go. See, I'm loving what you do to me, so if it's cool, let me know. We can kick it to the VIP because the party don't stop till 3. Meaning you're in the crib all over me. CIBTRIP PER, and we are CAMP to the moolah. We blow this bazooka. It's crazy, baby, how I'm on you like Slim to shit it. So let me see your head bob, cause this party don't stop.
Cause tonight,
You better bring somebody to the club. To the club.
cause tonight,
We calling everybody, so get up.
alright. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and this party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and on.
Let me give your body a job, employ a new technique. Work it, rock it like a cradle, and better need a free. Wait a minute, let me clarify. The way you maneuver, I can't deny. So scream from the top of your lungs, and maybe I'll pacify ya. Take over, my baby, it ain't over. No fat lady, navigate to the floor, make your way. Dilate, give me more A-OK. It ain't fair, the way you're shaking it and moving it, baby. Make them stare. Step up in the building, everybody, and go up. Then it's You better bring somebody to the club. To the club.
Cause tonight,
We calling everybody, so get up.
alright. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and this party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and on. So get your hands up.
Get ready to party on the dance floor, jamming till 6 in the morning.
So get your drinks up.
Don't spill on nobody. Hit the bar, get some girls, cause the bottles we poppin'. But I'm a little bit too bubbly, so all the ladies look lovely, but can't tell if they ugly, cause someone get these girls off of me. Meet me by the bar, baby girl, round 3 now, let's go get some shots. Drink up, cause you know the party don't stop.
Tonight,
You better bring somebody to the club. To the club.
cause tonight,
We calling everybody, so get up.
alright. This party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and this party don't stop. Don't stop. This party don't stop. It goes on and on. Don't stop. It goes on and on. Don't stop. It goes on and on.
The party don't stop. The party never ever stops. Millennials, today this show is for you. Flozy, just keep it coming. That's what the fans are saying. Keep it coming. Mwendo ni huo huo. Now in 2013, we're talking about the Supreme Court of Kenya, and in 2013, we had the election between one Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta and Mr. Raila Odinga. The first round of that presidential election took place on the 4th of March 2013. And Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, was declared the president-elect of Kenya by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the IEBC. Raila Odinga went to court, to the Supreme Court, and challenged that and said that there were several technicalities, including discrepancies in voter numbers as reported by the IEBC, and that the biometric voter registration kits had failed. On 30th of March 2013, his petition was dismissed and Uhuru Kenyatta's election was upheld. At the end of the petition, the Supreme Court declined to nullify that election and affirmed Uhuru's victory. Now, the Supreme Court has been a target for criticism because of this decision. And one of the problems with this decision was that Kenyans sat and watched the TV. They watched. The lawyers are arguing. Hey, they are. Those were the first days when Kenyans now started using words like jurisprudence, amicus curiae, friend of the court. Nakumbuka, how are you, my amicus? You know, Kenyans are those people. But one of the challenges was, when it was time to render a decision, the Supreme Court walked into the courtroom and read a one page, and then they said, you're going to give you the reasoned decision later. I have asked, I've had the opportunity to ask former Chief Justice Dr. Willy Mutunga, is that one of the low moments of his, his reign at the Supreme Court of Kenya? And he says, he would have done it differently. And that was the last time that we failed to receive a reasoned decision from the Supreme Court of Kenya. Of course, there are those who also felt that the 2013 election had too many irregularities, but the Supreme Court was of the view that no, you have actually not brought us enough evidence for us to overturn this election. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first election after 2007 election, and so the country was holding its breath. What's going to happen if this thing actually does not go Raila's way? Are we going to see another post-election violence? Luckily, it never happened. Of course, after that, we had some mandamano. And Raila said, you have to open the server. Open the server. That was a sound at the time. Open the server. That was 2013 presidential elections. In 2017, the election took place on 8th of August 2017. This time, incumbent Uhuru Kenyatta was still vying against his rival in 2013, Mr. Raila Odinga. Now, Raila Odinga and the NASA team challenged Uhuru's win because Uhuru did win the 2017 election. Again, he was declared the winner by IEBC. However, they indicated that they would not file a petition in the Supreme Court, given their experience at the court when they had filed a similar petition after the 2013 general election. So NASA was basically saying, we are not going to that court. That court already messed us up in 2013. There is no point. However, 3 days later, they came back and said, we have changed our minds. We are actually going to file a case following the government's decision that time to shut down 2 leading civil society organizations that had been expected to file a petition in court. Now, before this August 8th, there was a gentleman, and there is a gentleman, he's still alive. His name is Maina Kiai. One of the challenges of the 2013 election were that in 2013, it was not clear what is the role of the IEBC chairperson at Bomas of Kenya. Can they alter the results they receive? Can they fix mistakes that they get? So Maina Kiai went to the High Court, and the High Court said, election happens at the polling station. Once you enter into that booth and you vote and those votes are counted and they are tallied, that's it. There are no more elections. You cannot have further elections. You cannot alter those results in any way, even if they are manifestly wrong. Okay? So, Raila Odinga's petition in 2017 had several grounds. Number one, they said there was a discrepancy in the presidential vote tally compared to the tally of other elections. Okay? So basically, the president of Kenya at the time, the presidential vote exceeded the total number of votes that had been cast for county governors across the country by over 500,000. And the question was, kwani hao 500,000 hawakuwa wanavotia watu wengine? Why are they only voting for the president? Then there was an allegation that the electoral commissions, the IEBC's electronic vote transmission system had been hacked. Now, they said that there was a formula that had been introduced in the server which meant that Uhuru Kenyatta's vote tally was at a consistent 11% ahead of Raila Odinga. Now, an affidavit was prepared by some guy who does statistics, and he said the gap was statistically impossible if votes were coming in randomly from different parts of the country. Raila also alleged that results declaration forms submitted by the IBC were forged to mirror the computer-generated results that were publicly displayed on the results transmission portal that had been hacked. And so basically, you remember when Raila was talking about vifaranga via computer? Yes, he was basically said, this is a computer-generated leader. Okay? At the conclusion of the hearing, the Supreme Court then rendered a majority decision on the 1st of September 2017, and they said this election was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and other electoral laws. There were illegalities, there were irregularities that had been committed by the IEBC, including in the results transmission process. Those illegalities and irregularities had clearly affected the integrity of the election. And you remember Chief Justice David Maraga saying that an election is a process. The election is a process that starts from A and ends at Z. Election cannot be A to D and then you end there. No. It is a process and it has an outcome. Now, the court, having found this, it nullified the election and ordered the IEBC to conduct a fresh election within 60 days in accordance with the Constitution. And they had to strictly observe the law in the new election. Out of the judges, or the 7 judges, 2 judges, Justice Ojwang and Lady Justice Njoki Ndung'u, dissented. They said no, the election was properly conducted. Of course, in 2017, that decision that was issued by the court was a brief judgment, and they said, we'll give you a full reasoned judgment because there was a lot of evidence to be considered, and it was going to be read in 21 days. Now, that was 2017, and for the first time in the history of Africa, a court overturned an election of a sitting president. Justice David Maraga was the one sitting as the Chief Justice when the court did that. And it sent shocks across the country and across the continent. And also, one of the things it did is that it placed a lot of confidence. People now felt, yes, if the court can actually do that and overturn an election, then we have confidence in this court. So as we talk about the impact of the Supreme Court of Kenya, I believe one of the things we must recognize is that how they've handled election petitions has caused Kenyans not to go back to the street. There has not been post-election violence of the magnitude of 2007-2008 because the people have always said, kama kuna shida uende kotini. We are going to listen to what the court says. Confidence. That's been one great contribution to our democracy that has been made, that judges are able to determine an electoral dispute. They're able to hear all sides. They're able to hear what everyone has to say, and then they're able to come up with their decision. And by and large, even those who are on the other side, Kenyans have come to accept the decisions of the Supreme Court of Kenya when it comes to presidential elections. In 2022, another presidential election was held, and this one pitted one Mr. William Ruto against Raila Odinga. And the Raila who had vied against Uhuru was now one of his supporters against Ruto, who had been Uhuru's deputy president. Welcome to Kenya. And that time, the Supreme Court as well upheld the win of one Mr. William Ruto. And remember, I think the gap between them was less than 300,000. It was a very small gap. And of course, we had maandamano, And today, Raila and Mr. Ruto are shaking hands and they're together in government. That is the story of Kenya for you when it comes to politics. But the judiciary, the Supreme Court of Kenya, has played a very significant role in promoting our democracy in the way that they have handled election petitions. When we come back, we also get to look at some of the other decisions that have come from the Supreme Court and whether there have been decisions that have upheld our constitution. Have they been decisions that have promoted democracy in Kenya or not?
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
We gon' do it. Said we gon' do it. We gon' do it. Said we gon' do it. 50-50 bill of shame. We gon' do it. Make sure you give me my change. Said we gon' do it.
You pay today, maybe I'll pay tomorrow, and if you can't afford it, baby, you have to borrow. See now, I ain't high maintenance high. No times are hard, but it is our first romance, so I can't pay for it.
Dinner today and then shopping tomorrow, and we just started dating and my wallet is hollow and I'm not trying to be stingy. Baby, please don't judge. I see you got your purse. I guess we going Dutch.
We're in this together, but now who will pay for it? And it's a dilemma that we can't ignore. So now let's put aside our egos, our self-esteem and such. Swallow your pride and we go do it.
We in this together, but now who will pay for it? And it's a dilemma that we can't ignore. So now let's put aside our egos, our self-esteem and such. Swallow your pride and we go do it Dutch.
We gon' do it. Said we gon' do it. We gon' do it. Said we gon' do it. 50-50 bill of shame. We gon' do it. Make sure you give me my change. Said we gon' do it.
Tukitake lunch bit in a march. Hata kama ni mandazi soda punch. When it come down to the nitty gritty, tunakata katikati na kila kitu ni fiti. Oh yeah, 5-star hotel sasa tumechill. Na kitu luxury yes kwenye meal. Muni wait ame come na bill, lakini hana coffee. What's the deal? Bora mimi najua wewe najua tuko fine. Yeah, glasi ya the red wine. Sip na kulipa at the same damn time. Alafu tunachafua the meza 150 yake paka the lipstick iko tipsy sigara na kibiriti. Tiki tukikata tiketi na my sweetie yo mambo ni Dutch.
In this together, but now who will pay for it? And it's a dilemma that we can't ignore. So now let's put aside our egos, our self-esteem and such. Swallow your pride and we go do it.
We in this together, but now who will pay for it? And it's a dilemma that we can't ignore. So now let's put aside our egos, our self-esteem and such. Swallow your pride and we go do it Dutch.
We gon' do it. Said we gon' do it. We gon' do it. Said we gon' do it. 50-50 bill of shame. We gon' do it. Make sure you give me my change. Said we gon' do it.
Let me check my clutch. Look for my dignity. This is just too much. Insanity. Chivalry is dead. I think it died with Jodeci. Tell me what happened to good old-fashioned courtesy.
Hey, what's the deal with all these expectations? You need to chill. Stop being so complicated. Don't be in such a rush to be the one to judge. I see you got your purse. Honey, we gon' do it.
We in this together, but now who will pay for it? And it's a dilemma that we can't ignore. So now let's put aside our egos, our self-esteem and such. Swallow your pride and we go do it Dutch.
We in this together, but now who will pay for it? And it's a dilemma that we can't ignore. So now Let's put aside our egos, our self-esteem and such. Swallow your pride and we go do it Dutch.
50-50 yakipaka the lipstick niko tipsy sigara na kibiriti tiki tukikata tikiti na maswiti yo mambo ni Dutch.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
You guys, this one a good one. A good one, 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 a this one, a good one. You guys, Coonets, Colo, the Sioux, I'll see you back in the days. Let's go, 1, 2, 20 kazi.
Mini mugenge na pitaga na zile ziko maji zimebleki na kata maji kifika mabis nimebleki niko fiti nimekula makuki na makeki. Oh yes baby nimesete
sete napendaga zile zimesete jicho nyanya oh yeah wale wamesete zimesunda tu kwa kibete simama wacha kukatika kwenye kete
wacha kujisunda tu kwa kete tunajua genge ilishanivisha pete mimi napiga miti weni mate mimi napiga miti weni pate
boss mazo sinitoke kuna tos anataka tu niende kwake maso sema kebab yeye ndio mkate boss wacha mpige mate.
You got that denda. She can really get a good one. You got that denda. She can give you a good one. You got that denda. She can really get a good one. You got that denda. She can give you a good one.
Walaba is out, what's really cracking like it? Age that denda, can you and me need sing? Cause she can get it. Shorty knows I ain't playing. Now she's the reason all of the fellas the same.
Bona, bogi benda. Amebeba vile miwa gana benda. I check in nikirusha that shy guy. Najua anapenda that sly guy.
Nico Erika length times width. Sina height but anapenda my length, she admits. One of us has to be the short one in the relationship, so I'ma take one for the team.
Tunawatembelea, tunawagongea. Wanabaki mutaani wakituongea.
That denda. She can really get a good one. You got that denda. She can give you a good one. You got that denda. She can really get a good one. You got that denda. She can give you a good one.
She can get it. She can give you. She can get it. She can give you. She can get it. She can give you. And that's why I'm Yemelea.
Baby, do the math, add the beds of plot close, divide the legs, let's multiply. Haina mbulu piga hesabu. Karizo as a Yemelea. We on fire, Mayday, tunateketea, baby.
Yo, this is my motto, katia demo moto, wacha chali ashike moto, ushashinda loto. Yo, never ever msoto, niko time, yani pronto, daktari loliondo. Yo, mchezo weka kande, you guys.
Olomide silence. Mi wapigisha makelele sirens. Mstari ziko juu, sema rhyme sense. Nipate juu ya maji kama high sense. You guys.
Yes boss, mi ndio sauce. Kusosi mi uanzaga na main course. You guys. She'll get it of course. Always on track, never off course.
You got that denda. She can really get a good one. You got that denda. She can give you a good one. You got that denda. She can really get a good one. You got that denda. She can give you a good one.
You got Yemeleri. And that's why I'm Yemeleri. You got I'm Yemeleri. And that's why I'm Yemeleri. You got and that's why she can hear. This is what I call the Fantastic Four. Gabu, Frasha, Bona, and Kolo. Let's take it away. Take it away. You guys, you know Juicy went to the club, huh? There was an Adenda who was rogging me. Mad, you guys.
Yep, I think this was a Vera Sidika song. That's when Vera Sidika was introduced to the world. Kolo is now a gospel artist. And P-Unit don't sing together anymore. Feel old yet? We're talking about the impact of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Now, the Supreme Court has made some interesting decisions on other matters. For instance, the Supreme Court in the Eric Gitari case held that when we talk about sex in the Constitution, that you cannot discriminate against someone on the basis of sex, that word sex also means sexual orientation. So sex is not just a question of gender, but it is also a question of orientation, which means you cannot discriminate against someone because they are gay or they are lesbian, okay? You cannot do that. The question has been, what does this mean then for questions of marriage? Because remember, the same constitution says that marriage shall be between a man and a woman. Does it then amount to discrimination to make that statement, that marriage shall be between a man and a woman? Anyway, we're going to be waiting to see what he said about that. But of course, that was a huge victory in terms of human rights, because we all want to live in a society where we are not being discriminated. There's no reason or purpose in discriminating against a person. So that was a big win in terms of the rights of minorities. And with that decision, Mr. Eric Gitari was allowed to register the Gay and Lesbian Coalition, or he wanted to register, I think, an NGO at the time. And he was allowed, and he was told, yes, you can go ahead and do that. Then, when we talk about socio-economic rights, right to housing, right to clean water, what are you talking about here? The Supreme Court of Kenya, in the decision of Me Too Bell Welfare Association, they gave a fantastic decision on how we are to deal with socio-economic rights in Kenya. And even questions of eviction. How do you evict people? You know, you cannot just wake up and evict everyone. No. That's not the process. Then, of course, you remember BBI, where the Supreme Court threw out that BBI thing and said, no, we cannot and we do not accept. This process was not done in accordance with the law. You'll remember that at the time, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were coming with the BBI, and they were basically saying that it was a popular initiative. And a popular initiative simply means that it was the people. The people are the ones who are leading this process. And when they are asked who are these people, they said, one Mr. Junet Mohammed and one Mr. Dennis Wawero. And the court was like, wait a minute. I thought those are actually members of parliament. Are they not? Yes, they are members of parliament. So there you go. Perhaps I could just ask this, and of course, if you're listening, what is a decision of the Supreme Court that you probably come across and you've said, that was a good decision? Of course, the decision, the Supreme Court also, the other day, also made a decision with regards to some guys who had bought land from a Moi company that was beachfront property. And this land was actually public land. It was government land that had been issued to a private person illegally. And the Supreme Court set that aside. And it upturned or overturned our understanding of how to deal with land cases. Because remember, it used to be that if you go with a search, then that search is clean and you're okay. So in another decision that the Supreme Court made, they said, no, you actually have to do your proper due diligence. Of course, you also remember that the Supreme Court has been at the forefront of upholding the termination or rather the removal from office of several judges. Just the other day, Lady Justice Mary Muthoni Gitumbi was removed from the judiciary on grounds of mental health, and the court upheld that. And they've upheld several removals of judges who have been found to have engaged in, improper conduct. The other thing as well is you'll remember Mr. Chris Okemo and James Gishuru. These were the guys. Chris Okemo, I think, was the Minister for Energy, and James Gishuru was the chairman of Kenya Power, or the CEO, I can't remember. And Kenya lost a lot of money because there was some corruption, and the state of Jersey said we need to have these people brought here. And so the Supreme Court actually went ahead to make that declaration and to give the go-ahead and say, yes, you can actually go ahead with that. Of course, the Supreme Court has also dealt with many cases of impeachment of governors. And it's been very interesting just to see how those cases have been dealt with. I think Wambora is one of those very, very popular ones. A case where It went all the way from the Senate to the Supreme Court of Kenya until the matter was resolved. Fantastic decisions that have come from the court. What are some of the criticisms that the court has received? We're going to be looking at that when we come back. It's now 2:48. Remember, this show ends at 3 p.m. So we are wrapping up, but I'll be looking out for your comments or your questions because I'd like to read those out as we get ready to wrap this up, and you can have a lovely, lovely weekend. But for now, let's get one song, and then when we come back, we'll look at some of the criticisms that the court has received.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Let's go.
And of course, that's Polaris with Unanitosha. And if you want to know the story of that song, someone put a beat on Twitter and said, who can actually give me some lines for this? And Polaris sent in an audio of her singing to that beat, and the producer was like, this is it. And boom, Polaris met her moment. And now she's a fantastic artist who's actually produced a few more songs, and maybe if we have time, we can play another Polaris song as we come to the end of the show. Now, what are some of the criticisms that the court has had? One of the Supreme Court's biggest critics is senior counsel Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, who has concocted a term he calls juris spesa. And basically he says that the Supreme Court is a corrupt court, that there are judges there who are taking bribes. He has never presented any evidence of this allegation. And the constant, what one would call the constant berating of the court by Ahmed Nasir actually led to a situation where the Supreme Court has said that they will never hear a matter brought by Mr. Ahmed Nasir, by his firm, or by his lawyers. So he will never be allowed to appear before the Supreme Court. And that decision also came with a lot of criticism because many people felt like he should have been summoned and given an opportunity to say something in his defense. But the Supreme Court just went ahead to make that decision without actually following, due process, which demands that you cannot condemn a man unheard. You actually have to give them an opportunity to speak and to give their thoughts on the issue that is before them, whatever that issue is. So that has been one of the heavy criticisms. And I think as well, of course, today, if you're online, you've seen as well that the part of the 12-year celebration is there are no women on, I think there's a poster I saw and I've complained about this. There are no women on that poster. There are no young people on that poster. And it's talking about the advancement of human rights. And you have a lot of senior lawyers, old lawyers. What are they talking about there about human rights when you actually have the president of the Law Society of Kenya who has witnessed human rights violations? You have lawyers who are part of for instance, even just the Mandamano. I think it's always good that some of these perspectives, I know law is a conservative profession and we place a lot of emphasis on seniority and age. We are really obsessed with age because the older you are, the more experience you have, so the more respect you have for you. But I think when it comes to discourse, a place like the Supreme Court should be a place where you actually try and make sure that you have as much diversity of thought, diversity of opinion, and diversity of discussions. And I really hope that they're going to do something about that because that voice of what you'd call the young people, or rather the young lawyers or maybe even women, I don't think that voice has quite been heard as we talk about this Supreme Court 12th year anniversary. So that will be a criticism of mine towards the court, that there has not been a lot of engagement on that front. And also, I feel that the court actually can do more in terms of educating Kenyans about its processes and about its decision-making and how things are done over there. Of course, you know that the other day there was a crisis because there was a question of can the Deputy Chief Justice then be the one to come and empanel a bench or to choose a bench. That is work of the Chief Justice. And of course, the High Court said that, yes, she can do it. But the Supreme Court actually needs to get to a point where they are able to engage Kenyans more, so that Kenyans can know their processes, Kenyans can know how they work, Kenyans can know how they think, Kenyans can know how we move. But of course, I would say that the pros outweigh the cons. Even where accusations of corruption have been made, no evidence has been produced, so they remain mere accusations. But the reality of the matter as well is that this court has actually saved Kenya in 2013, 2017, and 2022. We have not witnessed violence. We have not witnessed Kenyans going, to fight each other because of election results. And one only hopes that as we look forward into the future, that indeed we are going to have a situation where we have as many good decisions of the Supreme Court coming out And remember, this court is also a court that is highly respected by Kenyans, right? So that respect should never be taken for granted, right? You should never take for granted that Kenyans have that respect and they have that belief in the Supreme Court of Kenya. And so what should be done at all times is to ensure that every moment the judges of the Supreme Court uphold the Constitution and they ensure that the public trust that is there, the trust that has been placed on them, is something that is honored and it's something that is cherished. And the court should never appear to be a court that actually, it's hiding itself or it's trying to keep off from Kenyans, but rather it should be an open court where people feel that they can come in and step into that space. And of course, as I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, the current judges of that court are Martha Koome, who is the Chief Justice. You have Philomena Mwilu, who is the Deputy Chief Justice. You have Mohammed Ibrahim, who is a judge of the Supreme Court. You have Honorable Justice Njoki Ndungu, judge. Justice Dr. Smokin Wanjala, judge. Justice Isaac Lenaola, judge. Justice William Ouko, judge. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. Remember, we also have this show happening on Monday between 5 and 6 p.m. So see you this Monday between 5 and 6 p.m. as we tackle some of those real life things. Some of those real life questions you have and you wonder, sasa kwa hii mtu anafanyanga nini? I've run into this problem. What do I do? This show, we're here to discuss legal issues and to engage in civic education to ensure that you know what is happening. Of course, there was a story on extension of term limit. I know the public participation is now ongoing. We're going to be keeping our eyes out on that because I think that's something we need to be reporting on as it happens. But of course, we reject increasing terms for the president. What have they done with the 5 years? Wacha kwanza watupe ile kazi wamefanya hizo miaka 5. But from me here, of course, and Flozy in studio, it's just to wish you a lovely weekend. Go out, enjoy yourself, go for a concert, hug someone. Just hug someone. We need more hugs in this world. And be safe. Watch out for yourself. Tomorrow, of course, you have the marathon. And I know there's been a lot of chatter about the marathon. Are people going to the marathon to protest? Where? I guess you're going to be keeping our eyes out for that. But remember, anywhere, anytime, we must always shout down tyranny because power belongs to the people. God bless you and have a lovely weekend.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Siwezi shukisha juu hata sikupanda. Omera form sitaki na simu mi sipigi. Na ulisema unanipenda kuliko pesa. Tetelo form sitaki na simu mi sipigi. Na ulimwengu unaweza leta, unaweza beba. Osiep na form sitaki na simu mi sipigi. Na hiyo chakula nilikula mi silipi. Jedwong form sitaki na simu mi sipigi. Omera form sitaki na simu mi sipigi. Emergency sishiki, ukiniita mi sikuji. Omera form sitaki na simu mi sipigi. Emergency sishiki, ukiniita repeat offender. Mzigo, sinilete mzigo. Na kilo, but siezi beba kilo. Halafu, siezi tishiwa na do. Nakauelewi ujumbe itaka free delivery. Si explain, takwacha ujione tu vizuri. Na nilicheka timu yako ndio ilishindwa juzi. Na nimesema mara mingi mimi sirudi. Na misi kuji, omera form sitaki, na simu misi pigi, emergency sishiki, ukiniita misi kuji, omera form sitaki, nimesema form sitaki, na simu misi pigi, na ukipiga misi shiki, omera form sitaki, nimesema form sitaki, na simu misi pigi, na ukipiga misi shiki,
rocking on the midnight train. Oh Lord, steady rocking on the midnight train to Zion. To Zion.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.